Coming up on WVU News, Americans have experienced over $1 trillion in credit card debt, the most it's ever been. I'm Catherine Brook, and I'll tell you why.
Straight ahead on WVU News, syringe service programs are associated with a 50% reduction in HIV and hepatitis C cases. I'm Hannah High School, and I'll have that story next.
I'm Ty McClung, and I'll take you to the state capitol for a legislative update. Our Emmy Award-winning WVU News starts now.
A new legislative bill proposed in the Senate could help disabled veterans in West Virginia pay for college. I'm Catherine Brook.
And I'm Claudia DeLima. 1 in 7 children in the Mountain State doesn't know where their next meal will come from. We'll tell you about a program in our area helping families in need.
These stories and more coming up on WVU News, an Emmy award-winning newscast produced by television journalism students, right here at West Virginia University.
Syringe service programs are associated with an estimated 50% reduction in HIV and hepatitis C.
But now these harm reduction services may be eliminated. Hannah High School joins us live in the studio to tell us more. Hannah?
Thanks, Catherine. Claudia. West Virginia House Bill 4866 seeks to end syringe exchange programs. Syringe exchange services have been a controversial resource option to battling West Virginia's drug epidemic. If this bill becomes a law, the current state code that supports these programs will make them illegal in the Mountain State. Syringe service programs prevent the spread of diseases such as HIV and hepatitis C among people who inject drugs.
If we're taking away people's ability to have clean needles, then they're going to share dirty needles.
Studies show that the rate of infectious diseases goes down by more than 50%. It increases the number of people who go to treatment. Participants in syringe service programs are 5 times more likely to enter further drug treatment and 3.5 times more likely to stop injecting drugs. But programs like these are still a point of controversy in West Virginia communities. Some elected officials argue these programs contribute to a rise in crime and drug-related litter, but decades of research show they do the opposite.
Trying to ban any kind of syringe services is going to be a detriment to the community. And we've already seen in other parts in the state that limiting harm reduction services like syringe access has made HIV and Hep C cases skyrocket.
And many Morgantown residents are opposed to the change.
Right now, the only thing that is keeping these people afloat is harm reduction.
Living in Appalachia, there are a lot of people who struggle with substance use. We all know someone who has been there or who has struggled with substance use or had a family member that struggled with substance use.
If signed into law, programs offering syringe services would have 120 days to close their doors. HealthRight initiated this program in 2013 after seeing a need within the community. And over the last decade, its staff says that it has helped the lives of thousands of people. This bill is currently under review by the Health and Human Resources Committee.
Thanks, Hannah. Americans' credit card balances tip the scale at over $1 trillion.
And with 55% of Americans living paycheck to paycheck, Claudia, is there relief in sight? Over the past year, credit card debt nationwide has skyrocketed like never before. Dr. Scott Shue, Associate Professor of Economics, says the increase is due to inflation.
The total amount of credit card debt actually fell during COVID. And then it has started to come back the last couple of years very, very, very quickly. And it is growing pretty fast now. And it is now at its highest level in nominal dollar value terms, at the highest level ever.
According to Consolidated Credit, the average credit card debt per household in West Virginia is $7,090. But that debt is comparatively low to other states in the country. So how many credit cards do most Americans have? Well, according to WalletHub, the average American has 3 to 4 credit cards in their wallet. And on average, each card has a $6,500 balance. Caitlin Pearson took out a student credit card her freshman year with a $200 balance. Now she says that limit is almost impossible to not go over.
In the past years, my groceries are even like $20 more than they normally were, but I'm still getting paid the same amount, so I kind of have to use my credit card or I don't have enough.
Dr. Shu suggests for young adults like Caitlin to start buying in bulk and looking for sales or discounts.
We're finding other ways to conserve on the costs of spending rather than necessarily continuing to spend at the same pace.
Or with just a click of a button, you can go online and apply for a debt relief program. For more information on debt relief programs in West Virginia, visit the link located at the bottom of your screen.
Almost 6 out of 10 U.S. military veterans have to take out student loans to pay for college.
But a new bill proposed in the Senate could help disabled West Virginia veterans pay for college. Our legislative reporter, Ty McClung, joins us now. Ty?
Thanks, Catherine. Claudia. Senate Bill 599 would waive tuition and other fees for certain military veterans and their families. West Virginia has a long tradition of supporting its veterans. Today, more than 167,000 veterans call West Virginia home. The state currently offers veterans a $500 stipend per semester to attend college in the Mountain State. But this new bill would lower the cost even further for some veterans. The bill, introduced by Senator Ryan Weld, looks to help disabled veterans, their families, and the families of veterans who were killed in action by providing them with free tuition. Weld says this has been something on the mind of many throughout the state.
So this is something that a lot of veterans across the state, including our Department of Veterans Assistance, has worked towards for a long time.
The College Investor reports that the average West Virginia student graduates with over $30,000 in student debt. James Oden, an Army veteran and WVU student, says that while he himself would not apply, he has friends who would benefit from the bill.
Yes, I do have a couple peers that were injured from Afghanistan and would benefit greatly from more resources available to them and their families.
According to the Bureau for Labor Statistics, 4.9 million veterans, or 27% of all veterans nationwide, have a service-connected disability. Odom believes that the bill is a step forward in helping veterans.
I support anything that gives veterans more opportunity to better themselves after they leave the service.
The bill has until day 50 of the legislative session, also known as crossover day, to move out of the Senate. WVU has about 1,000 students attending school on the GI Bill. Senate Bill 599 is currently pending in the Senate Military Committee.
Thanks, Ty. WVU News reporters caught up with Senator Joe Manchin recently.
Manchin announced he will not be running for president in 2024. The West Virginia Democrat made the announcement in a press conference on West Virginia University's campus. Manchin is retiring as a senator and has been considering a bid for the White House that would have shaken up the 2024 campaign. Manchin says that right now is not the time to run, with the country being so divided.
They can't normalize this hatred, this spewing of hatred. That's not normal either. But what you're seeing is people that are protesting getting very aggressive, very disrespectful, and it's hard to get their voice across. Their point doesn't come across.
Manchin told reporters after his recent speech that he spoke with President Joe Biden before he made his announcement, calling their conversation very, very respectful.
Last year, 41 million people turned to food assistance programs to help with food insecurity.
And new data from the United States Census Bureau shows that West Virginia has the highest percentage of adults struggling with food insecurity.
Have a good day.
44 million people in the United States are food insecure. In some states, like West Virginia, have it worse than others. Monongalia County Commissioner Tom Bloom helps run Mountaineer Food Bank's mobile pantry to help those in need.
I believe action speaks louder than words. And if you volunteer for 5 or 10 hours, how these students are seeing what's really going on and how they're making a difference in this life affects everyone.
Hunger is more common in rural areas like West Virginia, where low wages, unemployment, and lack of transportation come into play.
1 in 9 West Virginians go hungry every day. And with 14% of the state population experiencing food insecurity, it's the 4th hungriest state in the country.
Bloom says more people, including WVU students and faculty, have been using the pantry due to SNAP benefits being cut. Luckily, the mobile food bank provides people with nutritious meals that can last a week at a time, and attendees say that food is a necessity.
I'm on fixed income, and I depend on the food pantries in order to eat.
The pantry feeds 1,500 to 2,000 families per month. With West Virginia's food insecurity rate being 34% higher than the rest of the U.S., Mountaineer Food Bank aids in the hunger crisis across the state.
Mountaineer Food Bank is the largest emergency food provider in the state. Each year, MFB distributes over 17 million meals in the state.
For more information, you can donate to the MFB or find a program near you. Just visit the address at the bottom of your screen.
Coming up, closing out American Heart Month with an emotional and informational story.
And we'll tell you how one WVU student is turning flowers into fashion. These stories and more after the break.
Straight ahead on WVU News, there are over 1,200 West Virginia students enrolled in public charter schools. I'm Mason Kinsey, and I'll tell you what makes this one in Morgantown different from the rest.
Quiet and ready in control room. 3, 2, 1. Fade in bumper.
WVU News is local, in-depth, and always on the move for you. And it's always on YouTube, on the web, and on the Reed College of Media website. A national first place Emmy Award-winning college newscast taped at the Waterfront Studio at West Virginia University. Stay in the know, stay connected, watch WVU News.
Mountaineers know. Let's go! Really means let's try. Let's create. Let's explore. And let's do it all together.
February is American Heart Month. This promotes awareness for the leading cause of death in the United States, heart disease.
But heart disease is not the only problem Americans should be aware of, Catherine. John V. Patel joins us live in the studio to tell us more. John V.
Thanks, Catherine. Claudia, African-American babies with congenital heart defects are at higher risk of mortality. The Black community is also disproportionately impacted by heart disease.
Stephen Scherer has hypoplastic left heart syndrome, a type of congenital heart defect. After undergoing 2 surgeries as a child, he is now on the transplant list waiting for a new heart.
We know it is high risk compared to the average person because of my history, because it's not just only that, it's also reconstructive surgery, so they have to undo everything that was done in my previous surgeries.
Congenital heart defects are the most common type of birth defect.
According to the CDC, more than 40,000 American babies are born with a congenital heart defect every year, and 1 out of 4 has a severe case.
Hypoplastic left heart syndrome results when the left side of the heart develops smaller than normal. Dr. Jay Udasi says it is one of the most complex cases to treat.
3 stages, major surgeries, multiple caths, multiple imaging, CTs, cardiac MRI, cardiology follow-ups.
Scherer says it takes an immense amount of support to keep going.
Family support has definitely been key to keep me grounded, because this definitely takes a toll on you physically as well as mentally and emotionally. So without them, it would be a rough road to go down.
Scherer hopes to have a new heart in the next 6 months.
Congenital heart defects affect more than 2.4 million children and adults nationwide. During American Heart Month, remember to take care of your heart by staying active and eating healthy. Catherine, Claudia, back to you.
Thanks, John V. West Virginia is home to 12 charter schools, and with an additional 3 being added every 3 years.
And one of Morgantown's charter schools has recently garnered national attention. Mason Kinsey reports.
Public charter school West Virginia Academy was recently named a finalist for the Yoss Prize. The prize recognizes some of the top charter schools in the country, and Academy Executive Director Heidi True says working with the Yoss Foundation has created new opportunities for the school.
This whole year we get to work with the Yoss Foundation, which is huge. Next week I'm actually going to Washington, D.C. We're meeting with legislators to talk about educational issues and how they can help our state specifically.
As a finalist, the school received $500,000 for school improvements. Even though the prize is private dollars, some West Virginia residents are concerned that charter schools receive too much funding from the state, despite making up a significantly small portion of students.
As of the 2022 school year, of the nearly 250,000 students enrolled in West Virginia schools,
About 1,200 of them are enrolled in some form of public charter school like West Virginia Academy. That equates down to about 0.05%. But some of West Virginia Academy's faculty members would argue that that small class size should instead be looked at as a positive.
Our scholars that start here in pre-K, you know, if they go all the way up to high school, I mean, we're able to really form those really good bonds and be a team, because that's what education is. We all have to work together because these students are our future.
West Virginia Academy leaders plan to use the funding from the Yoss Prize to construct a new campus for their students. Mason Kinsey, WVU News, Morgantown.
According to their website, in 2023, the Yoss Prize organization awarded more than $20 million to winners, alumni, and special initiatives, with $13 million going to charter schools alone.
Wool production in West Virginia is on the decline, but that does not mean the sheep stop growing wool.
And one WVU student is shearing her way to success. Drew Solt reports.
Cassandra Stewart is a grad student at WVU and has a love for agriculture and fashion that includes weaving.
I fell in love with weaving, and so this past fall I took a weaving and spinning class with Jordan and was able to use the dye from our gardens in my project.
Stewart has a garden at home and a garden provided by WVU. There, she grows plants, then extracts the dye from those plants to create coloring dye for the wool. Plants such as indigo, sumac, and marigold, like this one here, are used to create coloring dye to make textile art like this. Jordan Masters, a researcher and professor at WVU, began this initiative during his graduate studies. Now, he's finally seeing some results, adding value to wool.
This project allowed her to work with different ways to add value to wool that would typically just be discarded, and that research through practice is what I think can be very beneficial to the state of West Virginia as we move forward with this farm to fashion aspect.
WVU is offering their first farm to fashion course this spring, with hopes of also having a course in the fall. Drew Solt, WVU News, Morgantown.
Not only was Stewart able to create textiles from her garden, she was able to create a variety of dishes from the produce she grew, including carrot cake.
And coming up, an award-winning filmmaker lends her talents to West Virginia's most popular industry.
That story and more after the break.
I'm Tanner Inyert, and after the break on WVU News, I'll tell you about a WVU swimmer who's diving into competition this summer in Paris.
At WVU, an education is more than just a diploma. It's about the journey along the way. From your first week of class to your last, we offer a college experience with top-tier R1 research, one-of-a-kind traditions, and top-ranked academic programs, all designed to land you your dream job and not break the bank. Here, we reward hard work and work hard to support you, because we're all in this together. This is WVU. This is home.
Quiet and ready in control room. 3, 2, 1. Fade in bumper.
WVU News is local, in-depth, and always on the move for you. And it's always on YouTube, on the web, and on the Reed College of Media website. A national first-place Emmy Award-winning college newscast, taped at the Waterfront Studio at West Virginia University. Stay in the know, stay connected, watch WVU News.
Claudia, athletes from around the globe will be headed to Paris this summer for the 2024 Olympic Games.
And that includes some Mountaineers. Sports anchor Tanner Enyart is here to tell us more. Tanner?
Thanks, Catherine. Claudia, West Virginia swimming senior Ivan Puskovich has been around the world and back this month. Puskovich competed at the World Aquatics Championships in Doha, Qatar, to try and qualify for Team USA for the upcoming Olympic Games in Paris this summer. Only 5 Americans have ever qualified for open water Olympic swimming, but at the 2024 Summer Games, that number will change.
Put swimming on the map in a way that hasn't been done before for this whole state. It always feels good to have people in your corner. I'm a firm believer you can't climb a mountain alone.
Puskovich finished 14th overall at the World Aquatics Championships in February, competing in the open water 10K and finishing with a time of just under 2 hours. Puskovich is the first Mountaineer swimmer to ever qualify for Team USA, and he's hoping to be standing on a podium like this one later this summer in Paris, except he won't be wearing the old gold and blue. He'll be wearing the red, white, and blue with Team USA at the 2024 Summer Olympic Games. WVU head coach Vic Riggs says this is the greatest opportunity in the sport.
Well, anytime you have somebody representing the United States, it's an incredible honor, and it's the highest, it's the pinnacle for our sport. You know, there's professional swimming, but it's not at the level of other sports. So to represent your country is the biggest and most elite that you can do.
Puskovich won't suit up for Team USA until August, when the marathon swimming events take place at Pont Alexandre Trois in downtown Paris. First, he and the rest of the Mountaineers will host Big 12 championships right here in Morgantown. Puskovich might not be the only Mountaineer heading to Paris. We do know that WVU rifle athlete Mary Tucker has already booked her ticket to the City of Light for the 2024 games as well. Catherine, Claudia, back to you.
Thanks, Tanner. In Appalachia, coal is not just a resource, but a way of life. As of 2022, West Virginia was the second highest producer of coal in the nation.
Now, a West Virginia native is showcasing this industry in a way she knows best. Our lifestyle reporter Sterling Gibson joins us from Studio B to tell us more. Sterling?
Thanks, Catherine. Claudia. In one of her most haunting tales yet, Elaine McMillian Sheldon spins a hopeful narrative of the West Virginia coal industry. Her documentary, King Coal, emerges from the shadows to shed light on the resource that has fueled both industry and culture in Appalachia for more than a century.
Coal has been a vital part of West Virginia history since long before its founding. WVU alum and Academy Award nominee Elaine McMillian Sheldon explores the history of the ore in her new film, King Coal.
It's a bit moody. It's a bit of a ghost story, but it's also got a lot of hope and a lot of beauty and shows the region in a way that I think is quite positive.
McMillian Sheldon presented the film on WVU's campus this month.
Coal, which you see depicted here on this monument on the university's campus, is a non-renewable resource that has been fueling West Virginia's economy for the past 100 years. Although the industry has declined in recent years, West Virginia still produces 14% of all the coal in the United States.
But it's not just an industry. McMillian Sheldon's film is about the culture of coal in the state as well, which she discussed alongside a panel after the screening.
My grandfather passed away about 2 years before I was born, worked in the steel industry, and there's something really emotionally powerful about this film.
The film premiered at the 2023 Sundance Film Festival, and McMillian Sheldon is touring universities across the country to share her message.
In 2018, McMillian Sheldon was nominated for an Academy Award in documentary filmmaking. She has also won an Emmy and a Peabody Award for her work and has directed 2 Netflix original documentaries. Catherine, Claudia, back to you at the Waterfront Studio.
Thanks, Sterling. Well, that looks like a great film, Claudia. We'd also like to shout out our legislative reporter, Ty McClung, who won People's Choice and 3rd place in Dancing with Our Mountaineer Stars this past weekend. And that's going to do it for this week's edition of WVU News. I'm Catherine Brook.
And I'm Claudia DeLima. You can visit us online on our website. You can also watch our shows on YouTube and statewide on West Virginia Public Broadcasting on Sundays at 6:30 p.m.
We also stream on HD Media's website, and you can find us streaming on KDKA TV's website. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.